All right, well, that is the closing bell. It is Tuesday, November 13th, 1 o'clock p.m. Pacific, 4 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Markets in the U.S. session are done for the day. I am Jonathan van Clute with Stock Navigators, here to give you a glimpse at what happened today, compare it to what we talked about this morning, and see what the results are like. But again, as always, please do subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and comment. Let us know what you like, what you'd like to see done differently. We are here to help you with your trading, so let us help you out. If you're in the chat, if you happen to be here live, of course, as always, say hello. I'd love to hear from you. If you're in the Discord room as well, feel free to say hi. And today, let's just start with the S&P, as we always do. S&P was a little bit down, not a huge down day or anything, but definitely the sellers are still coming to the party. We're still pushing down further into this retracement area between the 38.2 and the 50% Fibonacci levels. So we're going almost right to the 50%, very, very close. So I am definitely keeping an eye out for signs of a higher low being formed somewhere, maybe here, maybe this is it. We won't know until later tonight or possibly tomorrow. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for that higher low to form, and then we get the higher high, and then we have a new uptrend beginning. So on the daily, that's what I'm watching for. On the intraday, of course, price was down, definitely shot down, and then during the middle of the day, oh, whoops, actually, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That is overnight. My apologies there. Let me zoom in so I can see the timestamp a little bit better. There we go. That makes much more sense. I didn't think that matched with what I saw today. So yeah, we had a choppy day today on the 60-minute, but we definitely had some good moves. If you're an intraday trader, if you're a scalper, today was a good day. I had a good day, and hopefully that you did as well. But as you can see, we're just in the box basically all day. Now, right at the end of the session, we broke below the box, and that's where we're hanging out right now. We did take out this low here, so we're setting up to maybe head a little bit lower, but see a couple of things to watch out for. First, on the 60-minute, Navigator is up. It is rising. So even though price is trying to go lower, the Navigator is not going along with it. Now, that means that this buy zone that's right down below where we are currently is probably going to hold. That is a likely reasonable support level, and I am looking for that to hold. That's what I'm keeping an eye on to start looking to get more seriously bullish for something more than just an intraday scalp type trade. Waiting for that to set up. We are at that 161.8 Fibonacci extension level, and it is holding right at it right this moment. So again, if that is going to act as the level where everything's going to turn around, then we're going to want to watch for some kind of a bullish confirmation, maybe a break above the box level, something like that, or if you're a little bit more risk tolerant and you're ready to go in before you've got perfect confirmation, but you want to have a lower risk entry, then now might not be a bad time to think about it. And you can put a stop like right down below the buy zone, or if that's too far for your risk tolerance, as you put it in the middle of the buy zone. But just, of course, be aware that if we do trade down, it's possible you get stopped out and then it just turns right around. So just, keep all of that stuff in mind. So that is what happened today in the S&P. Now, crude oil broke down further, and it did, in fact, break right on through. Just shattered this buy zone that was right here. Shot right on through it on the daily. But look what we have. We've got now 3 days. 3 days of magenta histogram on the Navigator. So the Navigator is kind of screaming right now that we just don't have any more energy to the downside. On the 60-minute, we had even more so. I mean, just huge screaming all day long. Even though it was down, 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 the Navigator is just screaming how incredibly, incredibly oversold that it is right now. So definitely beware of going short here. I would be really, really cautious about even considering a short at this point, because after a move like this, the more likely outcome is to have some kind of a bounce. Maybe it's an actual reversal, maybe it's not, but certainly some kind of a bounce to digest some of this move is certainly in order. No question about it. So if you are still want to be bearish, if you're still bearish on crude, you're basically looking for it to reach this buy zone here, which is from quite a ways back, and get through it. And in order to continue any kind of any kind of bearish momentum. So that's what you're looking for if you're a bear. If you're a bull, of course, the story is a little bit more in your favor right now with such incredibly oversold conditions. So you really want to just see it trade back up into this what is now a sell zone, prior buy zone, and preferably get above it and hold above it. And then maybe there's a chance that they can go up and try to test the other overhead sell zone. But right now, although the Bears are firmly in control, they have been for so long that right now they need to take a breather. And maybe that's just sideways. Maybe it just kind of hangs out in this general area for a little while and doesn't really go anywhere. And then maybe it resumes a downward trend. We'll have to just wait and see how that all wants to play out. But I would be very cautious about initiating a new short right now after such a move. Gold is still just hanging out at that rising channel line. It really didn't go anywhere today. Not really anything happened. It just kind of just sort of sideways. Little moves. If you're an intraday trader, there were some little moves to be had. But again, we just have a continuation of what I talked about this morning. We've got this bullish divergence happening with price making lower lows, Navigator making higher lows. So if the Navigator can manage to get up to and cross the zero line, that is a very bullish sign. So watch for that. That's what you really want to be watching for. And the first step in that process would probably be probably nothing. It absolutely will be for it to hop over this 21 EMA. And then eventually beyond that to get above the box and hold above the box. Because you'll notice this entire move down, it really didn't ever, in fact, it didn't ever get above the box. The only time it even managed to poke just briefly above the box is right here for just a couple of brief little pokes. And right there, also just a couple of very, very brief little appearances above the box, but in no time at all brought it right back down inside. So the box is acting as a very, very good resistance and a very good trailing stop along the way. You've had some great trailing stops served by the box levels. So watch for a break to the upside to get some kind of confirmation to the upside, and or to the downside. Then it needs to take out this low and head lower. Now, if you are a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more risk tolerant, then this might be a good place to think about a long position. You can put your stop just outside these lows, perhaps, or just beyond the box, depending on what suits you better. But this is always the trade-off: is do you want to wait until you've got absolute confirmation that the trend has reversed and is moving the direction you want? Well, then you're going to have a lot more monetary risk by that point, because really where your stop would need to be would be like somewhere down here. But now, price is already up here when you get that confirmation. So you got to weigh the trade-offs there. Is which would I rather have? Absolute confirmation but larger monetary risk, or maybe I don't have the confirmation yet, but I see it setting up, and I'd rather have lower monetary risk by getting in an area like this. So those are the kinds of things that you really need to weigh when you're thinking about whether you want to put on a trade or not. Bitcoin, crypto, really nothing happened today. Just a continuation of what we talked about this morning. It's just mostly sideways, a little bit trending downwards. The 21 EMA on the short term is certainly pointing downwards. And even on the longer term, I mean, on the daily, you can see the EMA itself is making a pattern of lower lows and lower highs. So the trend is still down, but you can see that the angle is kind of getting shallow and it's sort of leveling off, trying to kind of go sideways. And obviously, we're just getting tighter and tighter and tighter in this range here, and just waiting for this wedge to squeeze one way or the other. Something is going to want to move. So uh, that's the story I've been singing for weeks at this point. There's really nothing new. Just watch to the downside. If you're a bear, you're watching for a break of that low. And if you're a bull, you're watching first for a break of this descending channel line and the box. It would be nice to see the box get broken as well, because this one box level has been holding for a long time now. I mean, just ridiculous how well that's been holding. So we really need to get over that. And then obviously we need to get over that sell zone. And then we got to get over the next sell zone. So as I've been saying, tons of overhead resistance for crypto to get over. Natural gas did not really go any higher than when we talked about this morning. It is still being stopped by that gap, or at least call it a coincidence, whatever you want. But these are the levels where this gap was from way back in around New Year's 2017. And natural gas just stopped right at it. It did end the day right there as well. Was at it this morning, and it pulled back, and then it came right back up to it again, and it's just stalling there. So, is it going to have the strength to continue this really, really strong upwards move? I mean, weather seems to be the deciding story this year. Just snowstorms and cold snaps and things of that nature. So, not terribly surprising that that would have such a strong impact on natural gas. But keep in mind that is not the kind of thing that lasts. Weather fades, and cold snaps can last less than anybody expected. How often is the meteorologist perfectly right, perfectly correct when you see those weather reports. So just keep that in mind. It could change kind of at any moment. If you're thinking about going long at these levels, just play it tight. Keep your tight stops. If you're longer term, certainly, and if you're intraday, there's opportunities. There's no question. I had a little trade today on natural gas. There's definitely intraday opportunities to be had, because right now there's still plenty of volatility to play with. So if you're a shorter term trader, you're probably still finding plenty to do. But we do still have this bearish divergence happening on the Navigator. Navigator making lower highs, price making higher highs. That may or may not actually matter, because weather is really the driving factor here. So the technicals only go so far when you're dealing with something that is primarily influenced by just natural forces. So that is kind of the story for natural gas. We did hop over, of course, this buy zone, or former sell zone. Now it's a buy zone. So I would not at all be surprised to see that get tested as support. And I mean, in fact, intraday it did. Today it tested the support and held right around this level or so, kind of at the blue line of the box, right around there. So it does appear to have held. So right now, anyway, the bulls are still in control, but just be careful if you're thinking about going the other way, or even with. Either way, just be careful, keep a tight stop, and just be ready to turn on a dime if you need to. Well, that about does it for today. Let's see. Anything else to talk about? I don't think so. Yeah, not really. I mean, we have a kind of a divergent navigator on the S&P, but I mean, we've already sort of talked about how the navigator is getting stronger, and prices failing to make significantly lower lows. So that's why I'm looking for that first higher low to form somewhere around here. Anyway, I guess that's it for me for today. We are going to be back on Thursday. Today is Tuesday. We're doing Tuesday and Thursday for a little while, see how that format goes. So I'll be back Thursday morning for the market analysis at 5:45 a.m. Pacific and 8:45 a.m. Eastern, and just get you oriented on what I see setting up for the trading day. I hope your trading day went great, and I hope you enjoy these videos. I hope we are helpful. I hope you find anything about these useful. Give us a comment, give us a like, give us a subscription, click that little alarm bell if you'd like to get emails before I go live in the mornings and afternoons. And as always, drop in and say hi sometime. Love to hear from you. Until Thursday, trade well. Bye-bye.